So today we're just doing a speed paint where we're talking about the character design I did, and we're going to be showing the process. So I start, as always, with warm-ups, just drawing whatever the hell I feel like. Then we start brainstorming what kind of character we want to design. The first one I had in mind was a lava elemental, which is what we ended up going with, but during a brainstorm you always want to use all the options that you can think of. So we went through everything, including, an animal, person, cat, dog, pig, whatever. We also played with the idea of maybe making a supernatural character, a ghost or a witch. Squirrel was another option. I think we were thinking of maybe a werewolf or something as well. Then we were like, okay, well, we do like the elemental idea. Is lava the one we want? So we came back, we did a candle, fire, slime. In the end, lava elemental was the winner, so we set aside lava, pig, cat, and witch as the ones that we wanted to try in sequence. Started out real simple. I wanted a droopy hair to be like a lava flow. We wanted the crag on top, because lava is dark underneath but has hardened rock on top where it's cooled down. So that was the idea. It was just make her droopy and then give her that little crag. So we started coloring in the crag and then creating the gaps where the lava would peek through and create light. We just tried it out on a smaller version of it to get a feel for how the body should look, and then that can help us inform exactly what kind of shapes we'd like and how we want them to look. So I was just trying out all different kinds of shapes and different things, trying to, contour to the body. Didn't want hard rock where there will be a bend where the body bends, because that would make no sense and that body part couldn't bend. So that creates a body-shaped line set. Here we were just sort of seeing whether we wanted the spirals to be on the calves or the thighs. It looks like we ended up keeping the thighs because it meant that we had this large plate that we could just sort of have a design on, which currently is holding a heart. Now we are sort of trying to think of what kind of name we want for this character. I was trying all different kinds. You just keep writing names until something feels right. So I was starting to feel the Tia, and then from there I just kept trying different things with the Tia until we got to the Tiazu. So with that, we then boot up and we start to actually refine our character. So step one, make sure we got exactly where we want. So I tried a couple of different variations of the hair droop to see if that's really the way we want it. We just define exactly how the crag or rocks on top work on the hair. I want the orange bits, the gloopy bits, to have their own shape to them as well, so that I can use them as a part of the design as opposed to just line work. That's what we're doing. We're defining the hair and we're leaving large swaths of it uncovered with the rock parts. So then we get a body shape. And then now that we know the body shape, we're going to try and fit the rocks on the body in nice, cool patterns that we like, in addition to a way that allows them to move. Like I said earlier, with having parts be over folding areas, that just doesn't work. So we need to have the lava parts where things are going to bend. Decided to try it out because it seemed a little plain, so I gave her a crack going along the right side of her body, our left. And I liked it, so I was like, okay, so I'm going to continue that across the entire design, and that creates a little motif for us to use that adds a lot more variety and personality to the character. Now here, I actually spend a long time working on the crotch region, because this is not meant to be a lewd character, but I want it to be slightly more interesting than just rock underwear, as well as we need to have those bends in there somewhere. Like I kept mentioning, if the body needs to bend a certain way, we can't have that part be covered in the rock or it can't move. So I just kept trying iteration after iteration. Eventually we got to something like this, where it felt pretty good. I was a little bit worried that it might read as lewd, given that it sort of seemed empty crotch, but I think in the end it still looks just fine, even without it being lewd in connotation. So moving on to the arm, this was a little bit weird because I wanted to have those spirals, and they looked good, but they looked a little bit standard. So I thought maybe we add some breaks in there. Helps again keep with the idea that the body parts need to rotate, so there needs to be room for the rock to move. So we just put slots in there. Now again, there's the giant thigh plates that we're allowed to put designs on, currently just a heart, but we get to do that, and then keeping the contour. So pretty much like the armpits, the inside of the thighs, all of that, I sort of kept the rocks out of it, sort of to feel nice, as well as to create, I guess, sort of another motif where the lava shows through. And yeah, see here, there, I was getting worried about the crotch possibly being too lewd, so I want to figure out how I want the hands to look. How is the crags going to work on the hands? So, draw that in. I do a plate on top, just go nuts and give it all of it. And then I'm like, okay, maybe pull it back a bit. And, just the nails didn't quite work for me. What about just all the fingertips and some palm stuff? Still not quite feeling it, but I decided, what if instead of just like the fingertips, it's just like the fingerprints? And then we got some on the knuckles as well. So it went a lot more subtle, where the inside of the hand is almost completely uncovered, and then the top of the hand has large chunks of coverage. I was deciding here between having feet, shoes, or hooves. The hooves were just a cute idea, so I wouldn't have to draw feet. Tried out a couple different variants of like foot or like non-foot shape, but I ended up settling on something similar to the hand, where it's got like a plate and then it's mostly the lava, except the entire bottom of the foot is going to be the rock, sort of to act as a semi, I guess, sandal or a sole of your foot. Here I decided to turn on a timer and test how long it would take me to turn a animation skeleton into the character. So it ended up taking me about 3 minutes and 44 seconds, which is not terrible, but for each frame of animation, that's kind of a lot, but I think I'm willing to put up with it given how good the character design looks, because that was one of my main goals in this, was to make a character that I can use for animation that should be pretty fun to draw. Now, with her having passed that test, I've moved on to color. I just pulled up a picture of lava, and then I'm just color picking and then adjusting as, to match each other and feel nice. I also sort of showcase how in order to make something look like it's glowing or really popping, you actually want to decrease the color and darkness of the background behind it, more so than the color itself. Now, I just wanted to make sure I can try and get exactly how her face is going to look. I like the idea of like segmented eyebrows, considering how much segmented areas and crag of the rocks there are. Want to decide, round pupils versus square pupils. Round pupils feel better. Tried out a couple of weird variants, like a star, a heart, that kind of stuff, but in the end, circle's best. Sometimes it just works like that. So I wanted to test out colors. Wasn't sure if I wanted exactly white eyes, or if we wanted to have them be slightly lava colored, a little bit orange. But in the end, I think white ended up winning. We went with blue eyes to contrast with the orange, supplement, whatever the color wheel term is, for the orange of the face. So we wanted that to really pop, so a blue eye. Now, I spent a long time trying out different colors for the mouth and tongue. But in the end, we just sort of settled for the red that is floating around inside of the lava, because everything else felt almost jarring. So then I just sort of make the color spreadsheet to make this a actual character design sheet and move it all together to fit just like that. And that is the character design from start to finish. We started with, I think I want to make a lava elemental that I can use to learn animation. And so here we go over the process one more time, just going step by step until we eventually get there. And wouldn't you know it, here is our finished character design. And I'm quite happy with Tiazu. She is a new favorite of mine. So it's exciting to see what we're going to do with her and when we learn animation next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time.